Alright, so I have my patterns all laid out for me, and those are the ones that I want to use in my skull. Now you'll notice that this is the pattern that I started with, and then what I did to end up with the rest was basically duplicate certain things like this, the two florals right here on top of each other, and kind of explode them a little bit, just make them a little bit larger, create more circles like we did here, and just simplify the shape even further. So you'll notice that I have actually taken elements of this first design that I've created, somehow just expanded it a little bit more, scaled it up, and then simplified it with just one circle and then just another circle and then a third, instead of having more details here, because I want some areas to have more detail, others to be more simplified. Then I took this little petal area right here and just expanded this and made it larger. I took some areas of these petals as well, made them smaller, and I maintained this same shape that I just created in the middle of it. So it's pretty much just taking apart certain parts of this main element, this main shape, and recreating different kinds of patterns with that. So that's pretty much what I did. So those are the patterns that I'll be using for my skull. Now I went ahead and laid this out on my mask, and you'll see that this is what it looks like. Now all I need to do is I need to show you how to make the nose and then the teeth. But I pretty much have the layout of my patterns set for me, and I want to make sure that whenever I put my patterns here, that each one of those is grouped. So if I want to take something like this, I want to make sure that it's grouped before I move it anywhere, like so. And then just manipulate the size a little bit and maintain that it's in the center. Okay? You also want to make sure that when you're working with strokes, you go into Object and you outline your stroke so that your stroke maintains its quality once you scale it up or scale it down. So that's a very important detail. You want to make sure you maintain that with all your patterns. Okay? So now we want to start building our nose. To do that, we're going to go into the ellipse tool once again. Just do something in black right here. So direct selection tool. Okay. And then I want to move this up a little. And then I'm going to make it smaller, but I also want to hold down Option, make this a little bit more narrow, and then squish like so. And then I want to do the same effect by going into Path and offsetting a couple of times. It's going to 18. That might be too much. 11. Okay. And I'm going to do that again. And Path. I'm going to make sure set them right. And then just make this a little smaller. And then place this in this area right here. In the center. And make it a little bit larger and a little bit narrower. Just like that. The next part is I'm going to create the smile. So to do that, again, I will create that through the ellipse tool. Create a basic shape like that. And I want to make sure I'm in outline mode. And I want to make sure that my stroke palette is out just so I can see what kind of stroke I would like. And we're kind of going thick on the strokes here. It might be a little too thick, so we'll stick to that. Again, we're going to manipulate the shape a little bit. Doing that. Going a little bit narrower. Okay. And then I'm going to duplicate, make this a little smaller, duplicate, a bit smaller, duplicate, and a bit smaller. Alright, so now I have the first half of my top part of the teeth, and then I want to select this and go into Object. Oops. What you want to do is copy, paste, so Command C, Command F, then go into Object, and you're going to go into Transform and Reflect, and you're going to reflect vertically, like so. And then you're going to put those teeth next to each other, so this forms the top jaw. Then I want to do the same thing for the bottom jaw. So select, edit, copy, Command C, Command F, and then we're going to go back into Object, Transform, Reflect. This time we're going to reflect horizontally, and then we're going to bring this down. Oops, let me try that again. Alright, so we have the duplicate, and we're going to reflect. I'm going to do this horizontally up. And usually with teeth, we want to make sure that they're slightly overlapping just to get a little bit of sense of realism here. Now what I want to do is I would like to give this a bit of a warp. So to do that, what I'm going to do is go into Object, Envelope, Distort, Make with Warp, and just take a look at my preview. So that might be too much. I'm going to bring the bend down a little bit, like so. Bit of a smile. Okay. And then click OK. And then I'm going to bring this over and place this on my skull. And I might want to manipulate this a little bit more, making the smile just a tiny bit smaller. Okay. And then what I want to do is I want to start filling in some of those areas right here of the skull. And I can do this in any way I want. So one way is to create more shapes. So again, with the ellipse tool, let's make sure we're in black. We're going to go into Effect, and we're going to Pucker. We're going to do 50. Preview. Okay. Let's say this time I want to make this white, and then select the ellipse tool once again and make this black. And then I'm going to send this back by right-clicking, and then I go into Reflect. Yeah.